Hey there, Tracy here with an unboxing video for the May 2025 Crafty Crew Kit from Crafty Stamp Co. And in today's video, I'll unbox it and we'll make this cute little card. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So here's my May Crafty Crew Kit, and I love the little way that she sends these out in this brown wrapper, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get it off of there without ripping it, but it's not going to happen because I'm going to keep it and of course use it for something else because I love the color. It's just fun. So I did the best I can. And what's inside? So first of all, let's move that aside so it's not distracting. First of all, there's a little thank you card with how you can find Crafty Stamp Co. on their YouTube, their website, their Facebook, their Instagram. And then everything comes packed neatly in this beautiful little pouch. And I store them in there too. And then there's just another, like a little thank you card, which is super cool, and with a discount code on it. So let's pull everything out. We have here, we've got two stamp sets. So we've got the Meadow, and we've got Life Short, Lick the Bowl. We've got I have cookies to bake. And let's see, we've got Baker's Gonna Bake. And there's one more. Happiness is Homemade. And we've got the little bowls, a little mitt, a little sweet treat, little whisk, little something, I'm not sure. And then the second stamp set are these adorable little piggies, which I think are so cute. And you've already seen me make a card with these piggies. So there are 4 piggies, and then a little lunch bag. And if I share my food with you, it is a big deal. Secret ingredient equals love. Savor life, it's delicious. And was there another? No. So those are the 2 stamp sets. And then there's this adorable little wooden spool with the kind of rustic looking red ribbon and the baker's twine, which of course, you know, this is a baking theme, so that works out. And there's always something cool and fun like that in the kit. And I love this little wooden spool. It's great. And then there's a fabulous damask stencil. And that's going to quickly go into my favorites pile. I have a favorite stencil pile. And then here's the paper pack, and it comes in this lovely little paper pouch. And I love the pouches, and I'll store my papers in there and their scraps because I like to keep my scraps. They're pretty. And let's pull this paper out, and I'll save that little wrapper. I won't store the papers in the wrapper, but I do save those for interactive cards. So we've got some beautiful, beautiful pattern. I love the color combination on this with the kind of coral and the gray and the teal and the red. Just fabulous combination. And so there are 4 of each one, and they're double-sided. So there we've got the little kind of coral polka dots. And then we've got the little rolling pins. And just a solid kind of coordinating color. Then we've got the houndstooth, which is a teal houndstooth, and the little salt, pepper, and sugar containers, or salt, sugar, and flour. I don't know, I forgot. Then we've got this little geometric pattern with little aprons and bakes on the back. And finally, we've got the little chef's hats and a solid red on the back. So a really nice combination of paper, and I'm going to be using the houndstooth paper to start with because I'm going to paper piece my little Meadow. I've known a lot of chefs in my lifetime, and a lot of times they wear pants that are houndstooth. So I couldn't wait to get this kit so I could do that. Now let's see if I can get all these papers in. And I'm sorry I'm so late sharing this kit with you, but I did want to make sure that I did share it with you. So things happen, you know. It is what it is. So let's go ahead and get this card going here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out this little Chef Meadow. And I like to cut the tops off instead of dealing with the sticky stuff at the bottom. And then later in the video, I do end up using the bowls too, but initially I hadn't planned it. So you know how it goes. You're making a card and suddenly, you know, you think, wait, this would be a good idea. And so you modify your plan. So I'm just going to lay her out in my little mini stamp platform on some alcohol marker friendly paper. And I'm just kind of conditioning the stamp a little with the oils from my fingers. And I'm going to use some Memento black ink to stamp her out. And friends, I don't have any part of this right here sped up, but when it comes to the coloring, yeah, we're speed coloring today and every day. I only wish I could color that fast. Let's do one more and make sure it gets nice and dark, since it is a brand new stamp. And I highly recommend, if you do stamp these out, wait for them to dry before you take your alcohol markers to them. Now I'm just going to cut off a little piece of this houndstooth, and I'm going to lay it right, I'm just going to leave everything where it is, and I'm going to lay it right where her pants are. And then I'm going to stamp down again a couple of times, and I think I'll throw a piece of tape on there just to make sure it doesn't move on me, because I'll be fussy cutting those out. So these kits, there are SVGs. So if you want to cut them out, if you have a cutting machine, then definitely you can get the SVGs. So I'm using some stays on here to stamp that out because the paper is kind of slick. So if you do use stays on, then you just have to be super careful with your alcohol markers because they'll move it. And I ended up having to stamp this twice because I lost the pants. I don't know where they are. They probably fell on the floor and they're so small I can't see them. So now we're going to go through the coloring process and you're just going to watch me color. I do show the colors, but, and listen friends, I'm not an expert colorist by any means, but I do the best I can. If you want to see somebody expert, then check out Meadow of the Crafty Stamp Co. and their YouTube channel. That's the colorist. And then I'm just going to blend these out with a colorless blender. And because they're wet, they look darker than they're going to actually be in the end. And I end up changing my mind on the book. When I see the red paper that I'm using with this, the pink as a highlight doesn't really work out. So I just end up throwing some coral on there and a little bit darker red. So I'm choosing some blues because I'm going to make her hair blue. And hair is difficult for me. I just struggle with it, so bear with me while I struggle. But I do like to make these characters have odd colored hair. It just makes me happy. I don't know. I end up touching her hair up a little bit more later, so now I'm going to do the skin, and skin's even harder for me, so I'm like, okay, how do you, because I know the basic fundamentals of coloring, but I'm not always sure of myself. So I know that the part of her face that would be sticking out more would be lighter. We're going to do little red shoes. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of shading on the pants with just some gray markers. So I have the pants and everything cut out, and this is the second pair of pants, and I don't think I shaded them this time. I think I decided it was a bad idea with the stays on. But I'll go ahead and glue those pants onto her body, and then we can continue to assemble the card. Ta-da! So her houndstooth pants match her hair. I know, I'm crazy. That's okay. All right, so for the rest of the card, let me go ahead and get everything together. So I have everything together. Now you can see that I have altered the color of the book and the shoes to match more the red that I'm using in this. And I'm using the little ribbon, and I'm just tying it in a knot, and I'm showing you here how I make a fishtail on a end of a ribbon. Just fold it in half and then cut outwards. And then I'll just scoot this to where I think I need it. And now I'm way too zoomed in for you, but sorry about that. I'm kind of just debuting where I want everything to go before I glue anything down. Then I'll go ahead and glue down this piece. And I'm trying to use my T-ruler, but I'm just fumbling with it. I got it pretty close, so I'm good. And then I've got these two pieces that I cut out with some dies from my stash, and they are pieces from the pattern paper pack. And I'm going to pop her up a little bit, just with some foam tape. And I'm also going to pop up the little window thing that she's standing in, but I'm not going to pop it up with such thick foam tape. I'm going to use a thinner foam tape. So this card will have some pretty hefty dimension to it. So let me find my thin foam tape. I need to remember to order more of this. I love this stuff from scrapbook.com. It's super low profile and it's big, so it doesn't take forever to put it on. I will add some liquid glue, so I've got some wiggle room to make sure I get that on there straight and how I want it. And then I will do the same with her, put some glue on the foam tape. So, and then I'll add little bowls down. In hindsight, I probably would have put a shadow underneath them, but I didn't, so that's okay. And I do want to pop this partially up. And I realized later that, wait a second, I need to give it a little bit of dimension here. I mean, I need to take some of that dimension off. So what I'm going to do here is actually add dimension to just that small part there. And struggle with it because I've got wet glue going on. It doesn't want, it just wants to stick to my fingers. There we go. So that it's all nice and level on there. And that's the card, friends. I hope you like it. And thanks so much for stopping by. Take care. Bye-bye.